If you're just going to lie there and sleep, Johnny, I might as well be useful somewhere else, Mia said, snapping her compact mirror shut. The click sounded like a gunshot in the quiet hospital room. I stared at her. I actually tried to sit up, but the broken ribs on my left side screamed so loud my vision blurred white. I slumped back, gasping, gripping the metal rail of the bed until my knuckles turned the color of old milk. Useful? I rasped. My throat felt like I'd swallowed broken glass. I'm in the ICU, Mia. I have a tube in my chest. They haven't even decided if they're keeping my spleen yet. And that's awful, babe. It really is, she said, standing up and smoothing out her dress. It was a floral thing, bright, happy. The kind of dress you wear to a brunch, not to watch your boyfriend bleed into a drain bag. But Olivia is falling apart. You know how she gets when she's alone. She's been crying for 3 days straight since Todd left her. She needs this trip. We need this trip. A trip, I repeated. The morphine was making my head swim, but the rage was cutting through the fog. You're going to Cabo, today. It's not just a trip, Johnny. It's a mental health retreat, and we paid $3,000 each for those tickets. It's non-refundable. Do you know how much money that is? I make that in a week, I shot back, though it lacked the sting I wanted because I wheezed halfway through. I pay the rent. I pay your car note. And you're worried about $3,000 while I'm lying here? She rolled her eyes, actually rolled them. Don't make this about money. That's so low. This is about loyalty. Olivia has been there for me through everything. I can't just abandon her because you had an accident. An accident? A steel beam swung loose and pinned me against a concrete wall, Mia. I didn't trip over a cat. I know. She threw her hands up, exasperated, like I was the one being unreasonable. And I've been here for 4 hours. I brought you your charger. I spoke to the doctor. He said you're stable. Stable means you're fine. You're just going to lay here and heal. I can't heal your bones by staring at you. She checked her phone. A text popped up, probably Olivia waiting in the Uber. Look, she said, her voice softening into that fake customer service tone she used when she wanted something. I'll be back in 5 days. That's it. Less than a week. By the time I get back, you'll probably be discharged and we can watch movies at home. My mom is only an hour away if you really need something. Your mom hates me, I said. She doesn't hate you. She just thinks you're intense. Look, I have to go. The flight is in 3 hours and TSA is a nightmare. She leaned down and kissed my forehead. Her lips felt dry, cold. Don't be dramatic, Johnny. You're a big guy. You're tough. You'll be fine. She grabbed her bag, the Louis Vuitton duffel I bought her for Christmas, and walked out. She didn't look back. She didn't hesitate. The door hissed shut, and the silence that followed was heavier than the steel beam that had crushed me. I lay there, 32 years old, a project manager for one of the biggest construction firms in the city, a man who prided himself on solving problems, and realized I had just been discarded for a margarita and a tan. That was the moment the pain changed. It wasn't just the ribs or the shattered tibia anymore. It was the realization that I was an option, a backup plan, and she was about to find out what happens when you treat a good man like an option. The first night was the hardest. Hospitals at night are a special kind of hell. The beeping never stops. The nurses change shifts, and you have to explain your pain all over again to a new face. I couldn't move my left leg. My chest felt like it was wrapped in barbed wire. I kept checking my phone. Have a safe flight? I typed, deleted it. I'm in a lot of pain. Typed, deleted. I wasn't going to beg. I had some dignity left. I checked Instagram around midnight. There it was. A story posted by Olivia, boomerang of 2 margaritas clinking against a sunset backdrop. Caption, healing era starts now. Girls trip, Wangers, Cabo. Mia's hand was in the frame. I recognized the ring on her finger, the turquoise band I bought her in Santa Fe last year. I threw the phone onto the bedside table. It slid off and hit the floor with a crack. I couldn't reach it. I stared at it for 20 minutes, feeling a tear slide down my cheek. Not from sadness, but from pure, unadulterated frustration. I was a man who built skyscrapers, and I couldn't even pick up my own phone. A nurse came in around 2 a.m. Her name tag said, Brenda. She looked like she'd been a nurse since before I was born. No nonsense? Strong hands. You're awake, she stated. Heart rate is up. You hurting? A bit, I lied. It was an 8 out of 10. She checked the monitors. Then she saw the phone on the floor. She walked over, picked it up, and placed it on the tray table within my reach. Girlfriend didn't come back? She asked. No, she had a prior engagement. Brenda snorted. Must be some engagement. The president coming to town? Cabo, girls' trip. Brenda froze. She looked at me, then at the chart, then back at me. Her expression softened, just a fraction. Well, that's a choice. Yeah, it's a choice. You got anyone else? Family? Parents are gone. Brother lives in London. Friends? I thought about it. I had work buddies, drinking buddies. But who do you call at 2 a.m. when you can't wipe your own face? Yeah, I said. I got a friend. I called Mark the next morning. Mark was my foreman, a guy who looked like a grizzly bear and spoke in grunts. We'd worked together for 5 years. Johnny, he answered on the second ring. Boss said you got flattened. You alive? Barely. Listen, man, I need a favor. Name it. I need some stuff for my apartment. Charger, laptop, maybe some underwear that isn't made of paper. Where's Mia? Silence. Johnny, where is Mia? Cabo. Cabo, like Mexico? Yeah, I'm coming down. Mark showed up 2 hours later. He didn't bring flowers. He brought a greasy paper bag from my favorite burger joint, which I couldn't eat, but the gesture counted, and a duffel bag of my clothes. He sat in the uncomfortable plastic chair and stared at me. She left you, he said. It wasn't a question. She said the tickets were non-refundable. Mark let out a laugh that sounded like a bark. My truck is non-refundable, Johnny. If I crash it, I don't leave it in the ditch and go to Disney World. That woman is a vulture. She's just selfish. She thinks I'm tough. You are tough, but you're not Wolverine. You got crushed by 4 tons of steel. You need help. Mark leaned forward, elbows on his knees. You want me to change the locks? Not yet. You're soft. You build bridges that can withstand hurricanes, but you let this girl walk all over you. I'm handling it. Sure you are. That's why you're lying here alone while she's doing tequila shots. Mark visited every day after that. He didn't stay long. He had shifts to run, but he checked in. He brought me updates from the site. He made jokes about the nurses. He made me feel human again. Mia texted once a day. Short, breezy messages. Thinking of you. Hope the food isn't too gross. Olivia says, Hi, we're going snorkeling. Service is bad here. Might not reply for a bit. Love you. I stopped replying after day 2. Day 4 was when the doctor came in with the news. Good news and bad news, Johnny, Dr. Evans said. Ribs are setting nicely. No surgery needed for the spleen, but the leg, the swelling is down, but the fracture is complex. You're going to be in a cast for 8 weeks, then a boot. You can't drive. You can't tackle stairs. My apartment is a 3rd floor walk-up, I said. Then you can't go home. Not unless you have someone strong enough to basically carry you up, and someone to stay with you 24/7 for the first week to help you get around. I thought about Mia. Even if she was here, she weighed 120 pounds soaking wet, and she complained if she had to carry the groceries. I'll figure it out, I said. I texted Mark. Doc says I can't do stairs. Need a place to crash for a week or 2 once I'm out. Mark replied instantly. Spare room is yours. My wife is already making a casserole. She hates Mia, by the way. She's excited to badmouth her to your face. I smiled. It was the first time I'd smiled in 4 days. Mia came back on a Tuesday, exactly 1 week after the accident. I was still in the hospital, scheduled for discharge the next morning. I was sitting up, eating the rubbery eggs they served for lunch, when she breezed in. She looked great, tan, glowing, hair lighter from the sun. She brought the smell of coconut lotion and duty-free perfume into the sterile room. Babe! She dropped her bags and rushed over, trying to hug me. I held up a hand. Careful. Ribs. She stopped, pouted, and settled for patting my good arm. God, I missed you so much. It was awful being away while you were like this. Looked terrible on Instagram, I said. That catamaran looked grueling. She stiffened. I was trying to make the best of a bad situation. Olivia needed cheering up. Is Olivia okay? Did she survive the trauma of being single for a week? You don't have to be sarcastic. It was hard for me too. I was worried sick. Were you? Because you didn't call. You texted 3 times in 6 days. The service was spotty. You posted 14 stories, Mia. The service seemed fine for uploading 4K video. She stepped back, crossing her arms. The tan lines on her shoulders stood out against her white top. Okay, so you're gonna be like that. I get it. You're cranky. You've been cooped up. But I'm here now. I'm ready to take care of you. I'm getting discharged tomorrow. Great, I'll drive us home. I bought some scented candles to get the hospital smell out of your clothes. I'm not going home. She paused. What? I can't do stairs, doctor's orders. And since you're the only one at the apartment, and you can't lift a suitcase, let alone a grown man, I can't stay there. So, where are you going? Mark's place. He has a guest room on the first floor. Mark, your Harry Foreman friend, you're going to stay with him instead of me. He offered. You were in Mexico. But I'm back now. We can figure it out. We can, I don't know, get a hotel? Who pays for the hotel, Mia? She blinked. Well, I mean, we have savings. No, I have savings. You have a tan. Her face went red. Why are you being so mean? I came here straight from the airport. I didn't even go home to shower. You want a medal? I shifted, the pain in my leg flaring up. You left me, Mia. I was bleeding internally, and you left to go drink with Olivia because you didn't want to lose $3,000. You did the math. You looked at me, looked at the money, and picked the money. That is not fair. It was a mental health thing. Stop saying that, I snapped. My voice cracked, startling both of us. It wasn't mental health. It was selfishness. You showed me exactly where I stand on your priority list. I'm below Olivia, below a vacation, and definitely below your Instagram feed. I love you, she cried, tears instantly welling up. She was good at that. I made a mistake, okay? I'm sorry, but don't punish me for it. I'm not punishing you. I'm firing you. The room went dead silent. The monitor beeped steadily. Beep, beep, beep. What? She whispered. I'm done, Mia. We're done. You're breaking up with me now while you're on painkillers? I'm clearer than I've ever been. When I get out of here tomorrow, Mark is picking me up. I want you out of the apartment by the weekend. You can't do that. I live there. My name is on the lease. I pay the rent. You're a guest. That's what you told the landlord so they wouldn't run a credit check on you, remember? She stared at me, mouth open. The victim act was dropping, replaced by panic. Real panic. Not the I'm worried about my boyfriend kind, but the where am I going to live kind. Johnny, please, you're overreacting. This is the trauma talking. Let's just talk about this when you're home. No, I'm done talking. Go to Olivia's. She owes you, right? You supported her. Let her support you. She lives in a studio. There's no room. Sounds like a her problem or a you problem. Definitely not a me problem anymore. You're being a bastard. I'm being a man who finally woke up. Get out. She stood there for a long minute, cycling through emotions, anger, sadness, disbelief. She waited for me to crack, to apologize, to tell her I didn't mean it. I just stared at the ceiling, exactly the way I did when she left me 7 days ago. Finally, she grabbed her bag. You're going to regret this. You're going to realize you threw away 2 years over one mistake. I realized I wasted 2 years on a mistake. Goodbye, Mia. She stormed out. Update 1, the recovery. The next 6 weeks were brutal, but honest. I stayed at Mark's. His wife, Sarah, was a saint. She fed me, helped me set up a workspace in the guest room so I could do some remote consulting, and never once made me feel like a burden. Mark and I spent nights drinking non-alcoholic beer. Pain meds didn't mix with alcohol, and watching sports. It was simple. It was real. Mia tried to contact me. Text messages turned into essays. I miss you. I'm staying on Olivia's couch and my back hurts. Can we just get coffee? I promise I'll pay you back for the trip. I blocked her number 3 days after I got to Mark's. I went back to the apartment once, about a month later, with Mark and 2 other guys from the crew to get the rest of my stuff. I had decided not to renew the lease. Too many memories. I wanted a fresh start. The place was a mess. She had moved out, but she hadn't cleaned. There were stains on the carpet, trash in the bin. She took the TV, which I paid for, and the coffee maker. Classy, Mark said, looking at the empty spot on the wall where the 65-inch OLED used to be. Let her have it, I said, leaning on my crutches. It's the severance package. I found a note on the counter. I hope you're happy. You ruined everything because you couldn't handle me having a life. I crumbled it up and threw it in the trash. Final update. The nurse's question. It's been 4 months now. I'm walking without the crutches, just a slight limp that the physical therapist says will fade. I bought a small house outside the city, no stairs, big yard, just me. I haven't spoken to Mia. I heard from a mutual friend that she and Olivia had a massive falling out after living together for 2 weeks. Apparently, Olivia isn't as supportive when she has to share her closet space. Mia is currently staying with some new guy she met at a club. Good luck to him. But there's one detail I never told anyone, not even Mark. It happened the day Mia came back to the hospital, the day I broke up with her. After she stormed out, Brenda, the nurse from the first night, came in to check my vitals. She had been standing at the station just outside my door. She heard everything. She wrapped the blood pressure cuff around my arm and gave me a look. Not pity, respect. Pulse is high, she said. Just had an argument. I heard. Good for you, honey. You shed about 130 pounds of dead weight just now. I chuckled, but it hurt. Yeah, I guess. Brenda checked the monitor, then wrote something down. She hesitated, then tapped her pen on the clipboard. You know, she said, lowering her voice. When she was here, the first day, before she left for Mexico, yeah. She stopped at the nurse's station. I was there. I felt a cold prickle on my neck. Did she ask about my prognosis? Brenda shook her head. No, she asked about the parking validation. What? We validate parking for immediate family visiting critical patients. Saves about $20 a day. She asked if she could get a pass for the whole week. I stared at her. But she wasn't going to be here. She was leaving. I know, Brenda said, her eyes hard. I told her the pass is only for days you actually visit. You know what she asked next? Tell me. She asked if she could just take the ticket and stamp it herself for when she came back, so she wouldn't have to pay for the day she picked you up. She was haggling over $12 while you were lying here bleeding. I closed my eyes. $12. She had been willing to leave me in agony, but she wasn't willing to pay for parking. Thanks, Brenda, I whispered. No problem, sweetie. You rest now. You got a better life waiting for you. And she was right. I sat there in the silence, listening to the beep of the machine, and felt a weight lift off my chest that had nothing to do with the crushed ribs. I was broken, yeah, but I was free. And for the first time in 2 years, the pain felt like healing.